In this video, I'm going to show you how to get window tinting, PPF, and ceramic coating, maybe even wraps, customers in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, this could actually work for other places too, so just keep that in mind. Wherever you're at, just use these strategies. My name is James from Auto Shop Marketing Pros, where we help auto shops across the country to get more calls, more quotes, and increase their car count. And guys, if you like this content, go ahead and click like and subscribe below so that you can see more of this stuff for your shop. All right, guys, let's go over to Myrtle Beach. Okay, guys, here we are in Myrtle Beach. It's over kind of like right over this area here. I'm going to zoom in, but it's South Carolina of the US. I'm going to zoom out here to show you where it's at. So there you go, Myrtle Beach right there. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's over there. Oh yeah, that little pop-up, got a little Ferris wheel going on. Pretty cool. There's Charlotte. So here, if you're not familiar with how this is out, we got South Carolina up there, actually on my left side. Let's zoom back into Myrtle Beach. Oh, there it goes. You can see that little pop-up right there, guys. Oh, there it is, pop-up. I might have to scoot over a little bit here so you can see that. Yeah, scoot over this way. Scoot over this way so you can see Myrtle Beach. Okay, there it is. Cool. So let's zoom in and show you this. So here, now obviously, you know, your new customers are not going to be that far out. But as we go into Myrtle Beach, here's the area back there. And maybe let me move this over a little bit like that so you can see it. Okay, there we are, Myrtle Beach. Now, first off, that's the area, obviously, you know, South Carolina beachy area. Pretty nice for the most part. I haven't spent a lot of time there. So back to these shops. Now, how do people find window tinting, ceramic coating, PPF? Well, typically, guys, if you're not familiar with this, you pull up your Google search and you look for this stuff. But on Google Maps, let's just type in window tinting and we're going to see what pops up. So there we go. We got quite a few shops that popped up, and look at these guys. These guys looking awesome. So here's some really good shops. Looks like a ton of reviews. So that would be the first thing, the first way people are going to find you there. They're going to see that 674 reviews. So if you notice that, quite a few reviews are going to pop up. Now, this is interesting. These guys have high reviews, but they're a little bit lower. Can be a number of different reasons for that, but let's zoom in. You can see all these shops right here. Now, you know, just because the shop is here doesn't mean that someone might not come from farther out. They might also come from this area here. So part of the thing is going to be showing up in this search. Now, let's say you don't have that many reviews. How on earth are you going to get showing up, right? Because you got all these little shops down here. These guys still have a lot of decent reviews, but these guys have less. So how are you going to show up? Well, you're going to use an ad. Let's see if we can generate one here. I'm not sure if it's going to pop up. So these guys don't have, most of these are probably set up correctly. If I do it enough, maybe an ad will pop up, but looks like it's not. So that's okay. But if I do this enough and someone is doing an ad, ideally, you know, a person with lower reviews will pop up. And normally what happens is the first person that shows up, someone will click on that ad, call them, or go to their website. And anyway, so you want to make sure that you're showing up. Now, again, if you're just a new shop, if you have low reviews, you're probably never going to show up that high because these other guys are going to destroy you. Now, even if you have a lot of reviews, it does pay to show up, to make sure you show up high. And how do you do that? You do that with a Google ad. Okay. I'm not going to go into a lot of Google ads today, but I just want to show the demand. So first off, how many people might be looking in this area? Obviously there's a lot of shops, so that probably indicates there's demand. Now, but how far out would people go? You know, I'm not familiar with this area too much, but if I look up, I think the county is Horry County. So usually you can go by the county. Okay, there you go. There's a county. And it's probably a good idea that people from this county might go to these people here where the tinting shops are at. So if we do that, what we need to do is pull up the demand. So how many people are actually looking for these shops in this area? Well, I'm glad you asked because I happen to have the data right here. So here's the data behind me. Okay, cool. I think my head is out of the way. So now you can see this search demand, and let me move this up a little bit. This is a simple spreadsheet. I downloaded this data from Google today. It's actually free to download. Anyone can find this out. Some would argue the data isn't as accurate, but let's go ahead and say this is not bad. So this will be for, I looked up window tinting, PPF, ceramic coating, I think another one, wraps. So here we go. This is an interesting one. Car branding apparently is a big keyword search in that area, probably because there's quite a few tourists in that area, quite a few people, and so people are looking up how to get branding on their car. You can look that up. This is typically for wraps. There's 5,000. Even, let's say, even if you didn't have this one, it's still a lot, still 145,000. But this does include tinting, ceramic coating, wraps, window tinting. There may be some house tinting in here. I didn't dig too deep on that one yet, but still, it's, I mean, cut out 20,000 of that. It's still quite a bit. But so most of this is vehicle. We got car wrap, tint near me, car window tinting, auto wrap. So there's various ones. And a lot of these are 500 per month searches. If you look all the way down to there, quite a bit of tinting and wrap searches. Then as we get lower here, we got smaller 50 searches per month. We got PPF, other stuff like that. And what happens is all these little searches, so there's so many different variations of these things that people are searching for. They all kind of add up to be, you know, 150,000 searches per month. So even if I scroll down here, let me just pick up a random one. We got wrap my truck. I saw one. Wrap vehicle near me. So there's that. Yeah, there's a residential tinting. This one could mean also residential. Well, typically that would probably be house. But again, it's 50. It's not that many. So here we got wrap my truck. There are some things that are probably just looking for products, but let's just cut out, you know, 50,000 searches of that. And it's still quite a bit. So the point is there's a big demand. This is Myrtle Beach, Horry County, South Carolina, that area. So you want to keep that in mind. And the key here is I just picked this out randomly. It's not like it's really important for this shop, but you need to know how far out will your customers come to your shop, or if maybe you're mobile. You know, not a lot of, there probably are some mobile tinting guys. The best ones are probably in the shop, have a controlled environment. But again, there could be some mobile. Some of this stuff could be mobile. Most of the PPF, ceramic coating, all that stuff would be in a shop. But so how far would someone come? I think the county might be good here. Now for a bigger area, a county might be too big. The important part is you need to know how far out someone will come. And there you go. Now let's look over here. I got this other yellow stuff over my head right there. Average PPC. It's average pay-per-click, cost per click on Google. So this is actually pretty cool. If you remember, this one was actually the car branding one. So we just eliminated that just in case it's something different. Here we got car window tinting, 88 cents a click. That's insane. 88 cents a click. And a lot of these are pretty low. This is kind of the low end, the average low end. So it could be a little bit lower, but on the low end, $1 per click. And some of these, even these are not too high, up to $3, $4, $5 per click. Now, what does that mean per click? Let's go back over to the map. I don't have an ad, but let's go back over to the map. Okay, we're back in Myrtle Beach, and let's look up PPF near me, see how that works, just to make it different. Oh no, that's not. That's PPF Myrtle Beach. Okay, so there's some. Oh, look at that! Boom. Okay, mobile detailing. So this is a mobile detailer now, and for some reason they're showing up for that PPF, which if I can see, I'm not in this area, so there is a setting within Google Ads where you want to make it to the local area only, typically, just because if I'm not in your area or routinely in it, it's probably not going to be good for you. Anyway, so this is good. Mobile detailing pops up. There's an ad, 78 reviews, pretty good, but look at that. The guy's beating this guy with 674 reviews. So that's awesome example. And an awesome example of how ads can get you above this next person who has a ton of reviews, even more reviews here. And I typically see where in anytime you have an ad running, like a Google ad, people will type this in and they'll click the first one that comes up. Maybe it doesn't even apply. Maybe it's not correct, but they'll click that first one just because they trust Google is going to give them the correct search result. And you know, now you can try this in your direct Google search as well, but I'm sticking with Google Maps. So here, when we go back to the click, cost per click, if you remember that, if I click on this ad for PPF, it will typically cost, let's go back to the spreadsheet. Oh, okay, here we are. So PPF, let's find one here. Let me see if I can find PPF. Okay, PPF near me, look at that. It's actually in that range. So $3 to $16 somewhere in there. That's a little bit higher, but again, the PPF might actually cost more, so which is not bad. So anyway, in that range, let's just pretend it was window tinting, 88 cents. If I go back to the area here, yeah, I'm back. If I were to click on that, it would cost somewhere in that. That's what a cost per click is. You click on it, and I'm not going to do that. That wouldn't be right. But click on that, and that is going to, whenever someone clicks on your ad, there's a cost associated with it. Now, just because they click on it doesn't mean they become a lead, but so many leads equal so many clicks equals a lead. Now, you might be asking how much is it going to cost to run ads and get leads? I'm glad you asked that because I have a spreadsheet for that. A calculator I have. I'm going to show you that. But just so you understand this, when someone clicks on this, it's that cost per click, which translates later to cost per leads. Let's go over here. I've got this spreadsheet that I set up. It's called the Auto Shop Marketing Calculator. I think this might help you guys see a little bit about how much it might cost to run some of these ads. And this is really just a starting point to see, and hopefully there it goes. Let me see. Okay, there we are. We're in the calculator. And I've already pre-filled out some of these things, but let me go back and change a little bit about of this. So this one, I've got a different one on our website you can check out. It's at autoshopmarketingpros.com. This is a free calculator. It looks a little bit nicer, but it's basically the same thing. So average customer ticket, let me go and zero these out real quick because I want to show you what happens. Okay, so average customer ticket, how much does someone typically spend with you? In some places like body shops, we call this repair order or auto repair shops for, detailing, window tinting, ceramic coating. Could be average customer ticket regardless of where you're at. This could be a range. The window tinting, you should know what your average customer ticket is. For these are probably a little bit lower. As you get PPF, wrapping, ceramic coating, it could be more. Let's just say for window tinting, let's like $300. Again, this is just an example. So additional customers desired per work day. Now, how many more customers do you want per day? Let's say you want 5 more per day. This is going to be easy. Work days per week. Let's say you only work 5 days a week. And now down here, you notice work weekly car count goal is 25. For the month is 100. And now here you see all this is that number times the 300. So it looks like your monthly goal with that 300 would be 30K. That's just the goal. Doesn't mean anything, but it's a good idea to see what the goal is. That way you understand what your goal is and how to kind of get there. Just say, hey, if I do 100 cars at $300, it's 30K. Let's just say if I went down, because some shops like to undervalue. Let's say they do like a $99 window tinting. Look at that. Look at how much lower you get, so it's not that good. Ideally, you want to be a little bit higher. So 30K is not bad for a smaller shop. But let's say some reason or somehow you can upsell these guys to $500. There you go. You had the same number of cars, but now you simply added some upsells. Maybe it's ceramic coating, maybe it's, detailing, some other stuff like that. $500. You get to that point. Okay, let's go back to 300 just for talking points. And now, average lead cost. This is really going to be the cost per lead in your area. It can be different per different areas, kind of depending on how many people are running ads. What we see across the US is typically in this $15 to $30 range for a lot of different auto shop services. So auto repair, auto body, paintless tint repair, detailing. Now, depending on how long you've been running detailing ads, these can go up. You got to keep addressing your ads and looking at these things, monitoring your pictures, your images. Now, this is for Facebook. I didn't really talk much about Facebook before, but if we go back to Google Leads, this could be as well. So let's assume it's $20 a lead, 15 to 30. Again, it could be higher. We can change this up. Now, lead closing percentage. Out of every 10 people that call you, request a quote, request an estimate, how many turn into a customer? So if 50%, let's just say 50%, so 5 out of 10 people that call you become a customer, in order to hit your goal, you're going to need twice as many leads. So if you got 100%, you'd only need 100 leads. But if your goal is 100 and you get half as many, then you need 200 leads to get to that goal. And if 200 leads times $20, then you got to spend $4,000 a month or about $133 a day. For some people that have never run ads before, that is a lot of money. For some shops, that's not much. Okay, so I know shops that are spending a lot more than that. The key is that you need to run ads for whatever level you're at. and to reach your goal. Now, again, if your goal, just because your goal is that, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to start spending that much per day. Let's say you've never run ads before, but this is still your goal. You still want to get to 100 a month, and you can reasonably do 5 cars a day with your current capabilities. It's a good place to go. You could start at 20 bucks a day or 30 or 50. You don't have to start at this 133 a day right there. You can start a little bit lower and build it up. So this is a great thing to look at. And if you need to look at this more and run some numbers, go to autoshopmarketingpros.com and check out our free growth calculator. Right now, there's no real opt-in or anything. It's free. You guys can look at it and run different scenarios for yourself. So do that. And you can plug in what happens if I increase my customer ticket. What happens if I get more customers? Okay. Can I handle 5? What if I added another day per week? Okay. Can get another at 5 cars a day. If 5 cars a day is my max, right? Maybe you can only do 5. Maybe you can, maybe you can't do that many. Then it goes up. You just increase your revenue. These are the assumptions. The other thing to do is sometimes these lead costs will cost more or less. There's things you can do for that. But your lead closing percentage, let's really say, maybe it's only like 30%. So, 3 out of 10 people become customers. That means you need 400 leads. It would cost you a lot more to do that. But the point here is that even if it spent 8,000, you get 36K out of that. Obviously, there's still some costs associated with that. But as you get better, let's say you get 60% or 70%. So now you get the same amount of revenue, but let me go back to 5 days a week. Get the same amount of revenue, but it only costs you 85 bucks a day. So if you can get 70% of people closing, look at that. So this has to do with your sales ability, your skill on the phone to close leads. There's always going to be people who are just requesting a quote, and that's fine. You got to understand that. But if they actually call you, if they actually submit their information, and chances are good they're actually interested, they're not just kicking tires. I mean, a lot of people talk about tire kickers. Whenever you go into anywhere, there's very few times where someone's just here to take my money. It still requires some kind of salesmanship on your part, some kind of ability to change their mind and get them to actually spend the money. Okay, so I hope that helped. Hope that helped you look and see how many leads you might need. And even let's drop this down. Maybe you don't need 100 cars a month. Maybe you need like 3. Okay, I just did 2 a day, 5. That for a small, 1-2 man operation, that might not be bad to start with. 3 cars, or you got 2 a day. You could do that. Okay. So, and that would only be, look at that, 38 bucks a day. So that's just different ways to look at it, and you can grow from there. Let's go back to the map just to see some stuff. Whoa. Okay, we're back in here, back in South Carolina. And for you guys to understand, plug in your service right there and then see what pops up. See where you look, see what happens. And sure enough, these guys are still popping up. That's awesome. Look at that, top-notch ceramic coatings. So these guys are doing well. They actually looks like their ads are doing good because, well, it's popping up. And it happens to be, it looks like the same. Can't tell if it's the same one or not. No, it's a little bit different. So the key to showing up on top is, look at that, get an ad running. You got to make sure all the ads are set up correctly. If you don't, then it's going to be a waste of time and money. In this case, I'm not in this area, so there are some settings that these guys can do to make sure they're not losing money, because you don't want to show up for people who aren't really going to be likely to purchase. In my case, if you're outside of the state, it's highly unlikely that you need to show these ads to anyone else. There's some other settings you can do. You can restrict ads from showing outside your area. Not only can you change that setting within the locations, but you can also exclude an area, which is a good idea to do. You can exclude other countries, you can exclude continents, you can exclude other states and even other counties. So let's say these guys, let's say for some reason they don't want to deal with anyone from North Carolina. Maybe there's like a border dispute or something. You can exclude North Carolina so that these guys over here will never see your ad and you don't have to deal with them. Maybe that's the deal. Likewise, let's say someone's driving by here, but now they're down in Georgia. You can exclude Georgia. It's probably a good idea to do. Let's say Charleston. Let's say for sure no one in Charleston's ever going to come to your shop. Then exclude it, because it's close enough to where someone might have just driven through here, and because of that, now they're going to show up for that ad. So that's a good idea to exclude some of these areas. In fact, if it were me, I'd probably exclude like everything outside of this area just to make sure that you're not showing your ad to someone who's probably not going to ever come to your shop. Now, again, if you do go service those areas, then make sure those are included. But if there's no way they're ever going to come to your shop, then just exclude that. That's going to help you out quite a bit. Okay, so the overview there, and I hope that is helping you. The big overview there is, guys, in order to get in front of your customers, you got to be showing up. Number one place is search for most places. Now, you need to check the search demand. If you have very little demand, then we got to do some alternative methods. We didn't talk much about Facebook, Instagram, those things. It's very, very great place for most things, especially in the detailing side, you know, detailing, window tinting, PPF, ceramic coatings, all that stuff, because it's visual and people love to see that. You can get quick quote requests, people filling out your forms on Facebook, on Instagram in order to get a lead. Here we're talking specifically about demand side, which would be Google search. And really the number one place you need to go and look and check the demand first before you're running ads is Google Keyword Planner. There's some other tools, but that's completely free. You can check that demand, and if you realize, man, there's not much demand out there, then probably not a good idea to run the ads. But honestly, if you have 10, 20,000 people searching per month, then, well, you don't need that many. You don't need that many to be a very good shop. You just saw that, 100 customers a month, you can get quite a bit of money. So even at 10,000 people searching, you still have quite a bit of demand to fulfill your requirements. So number one, check that out. Check out Google Keyword Planner, and then you can go from there. You can look at alternative ways to fulfill your pipeline. All right, guys. So I hope that helps you. If you need any help with any of these things, you can click below, go to autoshopmarketingpros.com and check out our various tools. Also subscribe below. And if you need help, you can click below, schedule an appointment, and we'll see if we can help you out. All right, guys, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.